early maturing varieties? No, to me, to my own thinking, because once we have the issue of dry spells, early maturing varieties may not just solve the problem. You may have to look at early maturing, drought-resistant variety, because during the period of the dry spell, because those dry spells can last up to 21 days, and that is critical. So by the time your crop has established over the period and suddenly you have the dry spell, it's early maturing, but is it drought resistant? So those are factors, you understand. In the advisories, you advise, okay, early maturing drought resistant varieties. When we go to the southern part of the country, that's another implication. We have what we call also the little dry season. The little dry season, because the southern part of the country has a kind of a double season. So that little dry season is just a kind of a break that allows them, you understand, naturally. But then, looking at the forecast, the little dry season is also expanding in time. So based on the forecast, I think between 20 to about 40 days interval of the little dry season. And we have incursion of the dry spell into the southern part of the country. When you look at states like Oyo State, Osun State, Ogun, part of Ekiti State, and so on and so forth, will have that implication. So you find that the choice of crop is a key. The choice of variety is another key. You understand? So those are things very critical we'll have to look at. And it is not just an easy thing, because you have to sit with the farmer. You're making reference. Do they impose the kind of seed for you to plant? No, of course. But then the forecast will determine for you what kind of seed do you need. And that is the engagement. There must be engagement. The local governments, the state government must engage.
Orders to take it from there and taking it down. But do you have handicaps in, for instance, producing it in local languages? Making it available in soft copies, just so that you aid the trickling down?
I will start with you first. You understand, at our own level, you here in NTA, I think NIMET is open. We have a website. Go to our website, www.nimet.gov.ng. All these documents are there. That is one. All the translations are there. We have translation in Hausa. We have translation in Igbo. We have translation in Yoruba. We have Pidgin. All are on the website. And it is meant, you understand, to solve this kind of problem. Because people, that is the concern, because people may not read the English. Yes, but I can read Hausa.
The farmer may not be able to access, may not be exposed enough.
The policy makers should take up this, you understand. Take decision where you have challenges. NIMET is open, you can meet us. You understand?
So policymakers should do the trickling down?
Not necessarily, because I made mention that we do partnership, and that partnerships we do is specifically to do the. So we do that when you look at like FAO, UNDP, you understand, Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security now, you understand, and so many other NGOs that are agricultural biased, SBOs, community-based organizations. We do a lot of programs with them, specifically, you understand, to educate them on the utilization of this document and information entitled in it.
All right.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Architect Kabir Ibrahim, I'm wondering, you've said this is good because it arms you with the information you need to proceed in the farming year. But every year, if we are not cassava, or it is in tomatoes, or it is in onions. So you've always had this, and you say you will act on this. Are there other dynamics? Are there other factors that cause those hikes in prices, or is it the failure of farmers to heed?
11 months. We have been talking about other issues affecting the food system. We did not talk of the NIMET predictions in those. We have been talking about insecurity. We have been talking of low mechanization. We have been talking of inadequate credit facilities to farmers. We have been talking of doing agriculture the year round. You know, these dry spells and whatever he mentioned, they are not issues that will make me have sleepless nights, because they are, we know we do agri-tech now. Nigeria should get into that. If I have a dry spell on my farm and I have planted maize and the cessation period or rain cessation is 21 days, I should have the alternative of watering my maize plantation through either groundwater or if I have dammed water near me. So we must accentuate the possibility of irrigation. So all these factors are the threat factors to scalability or productivity. Now, availability in simple economics make things cheaper. The farmer is producing, and it is in the farmer's larger interest to have more, to optimize your family. So once you go to the Wuse market now or any of the farmers' market, are you saying that you don't see anything? You don't see food, you don't see fruits, but you can't afford it, therefore it's as good as not there. So what we have, and we just had a dialogue with one organization, media organization, I think Trust. The question they asked was, are you affordable to you? You cannot have food security to afford it. It has to be balanced so that you will think even from outside the box. But and once that thing doesn't happen, once it's work in progress, you have so many inhibiting factors to costs in the market. And that is why I want to answer your question by going all around there. Even you are guilty of some of those things. So everybody in Nigeria should really look at these issues, should not be in denial of them, and should be able to do them. Even the issue of insecurity. If your child is one of those people who do banditry, to the law enforcement, so that they will be punished, because invariably it will affect you. So it's not that you don't like him, but you are pro people. You like his brothers, his sisters, and you like your neighbors and all that, and all Nigerians. So that's why I said these things are everybody's problem. And then also when you have anything to sell, be realistic. Now the reality is that can the people who you are selling to, can they really buy at whatever price you say? So you have to synchronize those things. And this is business. When you produce anything, so that you will maximize the impact in your business. So all of these things put together will make the economy better and will make your country better. And this is what happens in the real world. You don't sit, nobody sits in isolation. You produce something that, we didn't talk of post-harvest loss. In all of it. Because if it is not bought and there is no preservation, no enough power, no to keep the thing, I will lose all of it. So I have to be careful. I have to manage with whatever level of profit I can get to be able to dispose of these things and go back again. You know, I'm the president of Nigeria Agribusiness Group. Be able to eat and then build buildings. So I must be able to help sufficiency before food security in Nigeria. The climate is a very, very serious element in this. That is why I'm talking about climate change, and it's a global phenomenon. Fires, very devastating floodings and very devastating fires that if they happened in Nigeria, we will not be anywhere. Are you saying that the authorities here are not doing what they should? You do your bit. It's work in progress and it's everybody's problem. What you should do probably, to be very proactive is, if you have a representative from your place and they come, you should not send them again. You should get somebody else who will be more proactive.
All right, but let's focus on farmers, particularly now. You made a comment about, the price of the naira to the dollar. And, I've heard people argue most times about how and another farmer at the farm, say yams, how it affects how they the prices of these commodities.
These are very...
So, that's what I want you to explain, because a lot of people would say, well, you go to the market, you want to buy vegetables, they tell you, oh, it's now 500 naira per wrap. Don't you know how much dollar is?
The person is looking at the reality, but The thinker there is, when he calls seeds, vegetable seeds here, they are imported. Vegetable, we don't have the expertise, sufficient expertise for vegetable seed. We don't. Check. Yes, yam, yes, we do. We do a lot of things on yam and all that.
Are you talking okra, greens?
Yes. We don't, for potato, for tomato, for pepper, for whatever, most of the seeds are imported. And they are dollarized. Most of the labor that you pay people is more now. That's why you are talking of minimum wage and all that. So laborers on the farm of what you produce to the market. How much do you pay the stall that you are doing this? Even on Wuse market, not Wuse market, the farmers market, they pay a lot of things to FCDA and all that. So all these things have to be factored. So this is why prices are high, and then that is why the Naira has to, they are right. But because you think they are not economists, they will not know. They know.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Kabir Ibrahim. Let me quickly get back to Zachary. Now, if I ask you now how reliable, the NIMET predictions are, because of the changing times, because of, the fact that climate change happens, things could easily change. And because in time past you have, predicted and it didn't come to pass. And sometimes you haven't predicted and then we had them happen. How?
Yes. I've been in this team, I think, for the past 8 years. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm also a farmer. I use the prediction myself. I cannot do that. I cannot do any practice in my farm without looking at the prediction. And that is a fact, very tall tool, you understand, for me to plan. Sometimes I get some things wrong. Even myself, I get some things wrong.
Because of the same prediction.
Because of the same prediction. So maybe my actions, you understand. So I have to bear with that. But looking at it in general, it is a tool that statistics globally is that application of this climate information improves productivity by about 35%.
Okay.
Given good implements, all other factors being equal. So as far as I'm concerned, it is something that I must always pressure regime, which was, and it has come to play, and it has come to pass. And we have seen the implication, especially across the vegetable regime in agriculture. And also orchards, that is the fruit industry in 2024. We've seen how it fared because temperature has played a great role in that productivity. You find that there are a lot of fruits that used to come up within the season between January to... You find that they were not there.
True.
You get it? And it is the impact of the temperature.
And it didn't look as healthy as they used to look in the past.
That is it. And do you know one thing? It's not even globally, you see 2024 is the warmest, you understand, year on record from the pre-industrial temperature regime. You understand? It's the warmest year on record.
All right, many thanks.
And then going forward, 2025, you understand, based on the temperature regime we have seen, between now to May, except May, January, February, March, and April, you understand, are giving us higher temperatures than, so it's warmer than normal. You get the point? So it's trending towards what we have seen in 2024.
If you say warmer than normal, I hear that in some parts of the country they're already experiencing rainfall.
Good morning.
Good morning. Why is your sun shining like this?
Can't you see that
The invisible germs.
invisible germs?
During Harmattan, it's not enough to only protect your skin. You also need protection from these invisible germs. To protect our families, we use Dettol.
Harmattan season brings a lot of germs, but Dettol with Germ Defense gives protection from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Be Dettol sure.
When we think about the digital economy, you can see it as the marketplace for digital goods and services. And increasingly, it's becoming a force to reckon with and an incredible contributor to economic growth. Big solutions to problems, to drive applications, and to provide services.
The digital economy is something that has the potential to about what the mobile phone did for Nigeria years ago, that is the potential we have for digital, because it has a way of reducing the barriers to innovation. It has a way of being able to transform service delivery, whether it's government's delivery of services or whether it's services in the health system where people can use digital to actually be able to see their patients better. But it takes a lot to realize that potential of digital. The first thing is there, like every other thing, there's an infrastructure you have to build to be able to make sure that digital economy can thrive. Think of something like, capturing that happens in Nigeria, right? Where you capture, people's biometric when they go for a driver's license, when they go for passports, and each of those are separate things. Largely a system where we're able to streamline that and actually have a platform that exchange biometric information that makes it easier for people to access passports, easier for people to register to vote. But today it's very tough, right? But those are basic infrastructure that needs to be invested in. A lot of it is through government
space. We really need to look at enabling the digital economy. That includes providing digital infrastructure, connectivity, because that's the highway, like the highway that everything rides on. We need to think about digital capacity building in terms of the suppliers to boost digital literacy initiative. The good thing about technology is that, one, it helps you to transcend boundaries. Two, it creates a level playing field, really, because if you create a solution, a technology-based solution that is applicable in this environment, that same technology can be applicable, exported to other environments. And when we're thinking about innovation, when we're thinking about business growth, collaboration is an important part of that. So when we think about the impacts with the rest of the world, we find that actually technology platforms are giving us an opportunity to engage more actively, to collaborate, to create partnerships, to even export our knowledge and services for people to engage with all the great things I'm talking about technology and digital platforms. They need access, internet access, broadband access. So we need to make sure that access is more available and affordable for the average user.
The most important thing is to think about where you want to go as a country and actually what type of policies are going to help get you there. There are examples of countries who've been able to transform using digital, for example. There are very clear things those countries did to be able to make it happen. So a lot of this, the pathway to be able to solve these problems are not mysterious, right? It takes courage to be able to help them.
Nigeria as a major player in employment and in foreign revenue generation. That is our conversation on NTA Tuesday Live, coming up on the 11th of February 2025. The challenges and the prospects, plus more. Tuesday Live, every week at 10:30 p.m. Incisive and educative as ever.
All right, welcome back. It's the Good Morning Nigeria live on the network service of the NTA. And our topic this morning is on the 2025 seasonal climate prediction. Our guests are still with us right here in the studio, and we have another guest joining us via Zoom. We have of Lokoja. Many thanks, Prof, for joining us. We'll get back to you with a question. Would just allow you settle in a bit, but let's get back here, and I'd like to ask Haruna Zakari about. We've talked about. But let's talk about health, because that's also a critical aspect, to all of this. You talked about getting warmer from now to May and all of that, and so speak to us. What are the health implications?
Well, we made such provisions in the health and climate, which is part of the forecast. We encourages certain diseases. We look at malaria, we look at meningitis, and we come up with what we call the malaria and meningitis prevalence forecast. It is embedded there. So, you know, like malaria, type collections, you understand, always brings about breeding of mosquitoes. And we know mosquitoes are the carriers of malaria parasites. So across the country, that projection was made from the southern part of the country up to the northern part of the country. Depending on the onset dates, the prevalence is being marked. And we mark the prevalence for maybe vigilance, you know, low vigilance, high vigilance. That was what was observed. And also, when you look at meningitis itself, which starts from the northern part of the country, and what weather conditions are also facilitating or encouraging meningitis diseases. So we